here's what I'm going to plant in my backyard. First up, I've got wild sunflowers. Sunflowers take out toxins from the earth, naturally filter the soil. It's great to plant as well because pollinators love them. The scents confuse the pests so that your harvests will be ever more bountiful. Next up is Brussels sprouts. Now, I haven't gotten to plant Brussels sprouts yet because they're a cool season crop, and we're finally getting into this cool season. As you can tell, it's almost chilly here and it's raining. I've got a sleepy little cat sitting right there. Cilantro is another one that I'm so excited I can now plant. It is so nice to have fresh cilantro, any herbs really. If you notice, putting them in the fridge it makes them less than satisfactory. Cilantro is so good on tacos. I love it in soups. I like kind of more Mexican soups. I grew up really close to Mexico, so that cuisine is kind of part of it's in my heart. Ooh, next up is sage. I haven't planted this before, but I'm excited to try it out. It's good with potatoes, and I personally don't use it yet, but when you grow something, it's just like you have a little connection to this little baby that you grew, and you want to use it. So I'm sure I could find some great reasons to use sage. Calendula. Now, this is another flower like the sunflower. It's good for colds and respiratory things, and I think overall immunity. I think you can make a tea from it. In fact, you can eat the flowers. I have done that before. I got gifted some calendula flower honey where they just put the whole flower in the honey. It was so good. And then my boyfriend and I made chocolate with it. It was so good. Nasturtium. All right, this is another flower, but you have to be careful because it spreads. It doesn't spread as much as mint or like crabgrass, but it definitely spreads throughout your yard, and if you're not careful, it can take over vast quantities of your yard. It's got these pretty little leaves that remind me of lily pads almost, and these beautiful flowers and kind of thick vines that it grows from. People use it as a trap crop for aphids and other pests. Really love nasturtium, so it might draw pests away from some of your other plants. I mean, here the pests are completely endless. It's really tricky trying to figure out how to help your plants. Oh, I also got some broccoli I'm gonna put out there, but steamed broccoli or raw broccoli is a hard pass for me. So we're gonna be stir frying the broccoli I'm gonna plant out here. New Carota carrots are the carrot seeds that I have right now, so I'm just trying to use them all. They haven't been exactly my favorite for the hot weather because they've been pretty bitter and kind of more difficult to grow. They like their water, and I think I didn't plant them with enough shade, like living mulch, to keep some of that water in and not evaporate as quickly. I think they might be really good going in towards the winter months, and carrots are better towards the winter months because the coolness turns the starches in the carrots into sugars, so they get a little sweeter and a lot less bitter. The carrots I had that I grew through warmer months leading up to the summer, they're super bitter. They're good in a soup, sure, but you don't want to just eat it. I'm going to be planting some Lacinato kale, which is the kind of longer, dark, ruffled kind. For kale, I would recommend scrunching it before you put it in anything, like a salad. Definitely scrunch it. Soups, you know, it gets some of that bitter toughness to come out and more of the kind of softer, spinachy aspects of the kale come out, in my opinion, because kale is just hard to love. Some new seeds I just ordered, and I did plant this last month, some loofah seeds in August. People akin it to like a cross between a zucchini or a cucumber, leaning more towards the squash side. And you can eat it when it's young, or you can dry it out when it's young, or you can wait until it's old and naturally dries out. And what you have left is the fiber, which is what we think of as loofahs, like shower little scrubbies. So I want to grow some of those, and I've never tried them, but I think I'll plant them this month as well. I'll be planting Manoa lettuce and Jericho romaine lettuce. These are 2 lettuces that I got specifically for my region because it is hot as heck here. And so I think they're gonna even love the winter months. I'm planting them directly outside. I'm direct sowing all of these seeds. I'm tired of starting things inside and going outside and in and out. Nope, I don't care anymore. I've reached my limit on calm gardening. I'm doing kind of a cross between very planned direct seeding and kind of chaos seeding. I keep in mind what plants go where. Like I plant beans on the inside and the outside of the bed to give more nitrogen, and herbs, and think about where things will be trellised and all this stuff to kind of try and create a natural ecosystem that might beat out the very intense grasses we have here. Crabgrass. I mean, it's everywhere in America, certainly. We love our grass lawns, and I can't stand it. I did direct seed some lettuce into my yard last month, and that went really well. They're coming up just nicely. They don't look too leggy, which I was worried about because they are planted underneath some other plants. They're doing great. They enjoy the cool weather. Oh, I'll be planting some butternut squash, and I'm so excited. You know, I have been trying something with my watermelon that I'm going to try on my squash. This time I left one watermelon plant, one Jubilee watermelon plant, to run rampant because online so many people say that you should prune your watermelon so that there's only a couple strands going from the base of it instead of just letting it be wild. And I think they say that because those people usually have a shorter season. I don't have such a thing. It's debatable if we even will get frost this year. We probably won't. So my season it feels endless sometimes, and which is such a blessing, but also it means the pests are like on something. But this year I'm going to try to let the butternut squash go crazy because I did that for one watermelon plant because I was like, you know what, everyone says don't do this, and I'm not going to do it on the ones I want to eat from. I'm just going to do it with this random one so that I can fill in the part of my garden that's not being used because grass wants to grow there and I really don't want it to. And now I have like a few good watermelons that I've never been able to get a watermelon that big. It usually pops open because our rain schedule's so funny. We really consider the rain when watering, and yet it's still just so tricky to get right. They always pop. But now I have tons of watermelon growing, so I'm like, wait a second. I think nature's got this. I'm gonna sit back and let the plant do what it wants. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try that with the butternut, and hopefully this year I'll get some because I was looking at the grocery store, butternut squash, like a single butternut squash was $5. Oh, I'm gonna be planting more zucchini. I love homegrown zucchini, and I'm a zucchini hater, but this stuff I can't get enough of. It's so delicious. When you grow it out in your own garden organically and you know what's going into it, and you pick it young, like when it's probably that big, I'd say, and oh my gosh, it's so good. You can chop it up. That's what I do. I chop it up and then I fry it with a little bit of butter, and I fry it on one side, and then when I flip them over, I'll put some cheese on the top, and oh my goodness, some salt, pepper. It's like the best thing ever. I gotta plant a lot actually because I really miss eating zucchini, and now we're getting into the cooler months where I can plant it. I'll be planting calabaza squash too, which is a tropical pumpkin. Never grown a pumpkin before, so that'll be exciting. I'm just gonna direct seed it. In the past, I have grown a calabaza squash, and it got probably like bigger than I can show you actually, which is great, but I kept it in a pot and I didn't put it outside, and then it got attacked by pests before I even really knew that pests were a thing. Like, it was my first year gardening, so this time I think my odds are a little better. I'll be planting more sun gold tomatoes I did plant more Romas and Amish paste tomato in August, and I gotta check if they'll like growing through the winter months. I might just test my luck, you know, but Sun Gold tomatoes, the cherry varieties, seem to be a little more resistant to bad weather in either direction. And I believe that's because the original tomato, or as close as we can get it now, was a very small cherry tomato. So it's probably just more resilient naturally. And I personally love cherry tomatoes. I find them to be less acidic. I will be planting mint, but only in a pot. Do not plant mint in your yard. The internet will yell at you, and your neighbors will too, because it will spread everywhere. It spreads through its roots. It's just like crabgrass, which is the worst. You never get rid of it. I'll be planting some thyme, which is another herb, and I wish I could be planting thyme, right? But no. Thyme is really good in potatoes as well, and I'm not even sure what else. I'm sure it's great with any vegetable. I'm not sure if you would put it with meat exactly. You could, but you'd have to go for a more herby feel that day. And I usually go for that like spicy, earthy feel with my meat. Oh, potatoes, which I'm not actually positive I'm gonna plant outside this year because we had really bad luck with our potatoes last year. I don't know what happened. They looked like they were doing what they were supposed to, and then we just weren't able to harvest any. Actually, it could have been because it was too hot. So maybe I could try planting them again this year. I definitely have the space, especially when my watermelon plant is done. I'm going to be planting Romanesco broccoli too, which has this crazy like Fibonacci sequence spiral in it. It's a lot more dense than broccoli. Like broccoli has all those kind of like little balls which turn into flowers eventually, and I'm not sure what Romanesco does. Maybe we just pick it a lot sooner than broccoli. They're quite different in their texture, but not too different in the flavor profile after you cook it. So I personally like it more than broccoli, and I'm looking forward to growing it because it's just so beautiful. I'll be planting more Who Gets Kissed corn. I've loved to plant corn. It comes up really well. We just have so many corn pests, and I haven't exactly figured that out. Really what I need to do today is put neem into my yard, some neem oil, mix it with a few drops of natural soap that can go into the ground, no fragrances, no chemicals, and mix that together, and then add water and pour it into the soil. The roots will actually pick up that neem oil, distribute it through the entire plant, and then when a bug eats it, it feels like it's full, so it just kind of goes off and, you know, which sounds kind of morbid, but it's organic, it's natural, and here we just have so many pests. A lot of them are moths. And the last thing that I was going to plant, or that I could plant now, is Tulsi moringa. It's supposedly really great for your lungs, for your heart, which is awesome because I feel like not many things are good for your heart. I know beets are, like specifically, but I don't really like beets. I feel like I could like a beet if it was grown from my yard. It's probably a lot sweeter. But Tulsi spreads a lot, and I'm not sure if it spreads through the roots. I think it spreads through self-seeding, but it has a ton of seeds, and it really wants to go to seed and spread seeds all over the place, and then you have Tulsi popping up everywhere. So I have been hesitant to plant this ever since I got the seeds. Incredibly hesitant. So I may just put it inside like this little nursery, like we have a screen here, so that I don't think many of the seeds could get through this screen. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to chance it, but that was on my little list here. Well, anyways, thank you so much for watching.